Super Bowl, which is today. This event that is watched by those who aren't even football fans, those who watch for the commercials and or the halftime show. I hate this event, and I'll tell you why I believe I hate it. First, the Super Bowl is an American tradition. I'm Canadian, so I don't like taking part in American traditions. Second, if we're busy serving God, this event is a waste of time, taking away time when we should be serving God. Third, it's a game. During the Roman Empire, the Roman cities had a Colosseum, which even I visited myself. And Rome and other ancient Roman cities that are in ruins today, or ancient Roman ruins of Roman cities. So it's a game. During the Roman Empire, the Roman cities had a Colosseum where people would go and watch the gladiators. This entertainment was a way to distract people from thinking about being oppressed by the absolute control the Roman Caesars had over them. Fourth, the halftime show has become a stage for the horrors of the music industry, even for their satanic, pagan symbolism. So, as a born-again, Bible-believing Christian indwelled with the Spirit, I will not watch or take part of any celebration of the Super Bowl. So today's message is Genesis 1:1-8. Genesis 1:1-8. So we're going to read Genesis 1:1-8. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. The darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So Genesis 1:1-8 is the creation of heaven and earth, of the light, and in verse 1 is the creation of heaven and earth, in verse 3 of the light, and 6 of the firmament. And these are the first and second days. So the darkness never went away because night still comes every day. Note, a day in the Bible is the evening and morning. I believe that the Earth's atmosphere is the area surrounding the Earth in which we live. It could mean that the waters below the firmament are the waters on the face of the earth, Genesis 1:9 and 10. And the waters above the firmament are the clouds, because clouds are water from which rain comes. The waters were divided by a firmament. A firmament is a space. Then there was water above and below this space called the firmament. God called the firmament heaven. We read Jeremiah 51:5. Jeremiah 51:5. Jeremiah 51:5. Jeremiah is after Psalms. It's after Isaiah. Jeremiah 51:5. Jeremiah 51:5 reads, For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against them. Actually, it's 51:15. It's 51:15. He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. The Lord of hosts stretched out the heaven, created the firmament, which God called heaven, Genesis 1:8. Read 2 Corinthians 12:2. 2 Corinthians 12:2. After Romans, 1st, 2nd Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as that's not the word. I'm in 1 Corinthians 2 Corinthians 12:2 reads, I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth. Such an one caught up to the third heaven. Such an one caught up to the third heaven. There are three heavens. The third heaven is the dwelling place of God. We read Isaiah 66:1. Read Isaiah 66:1. Read Isaiah 66:1. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me, and where is the place of my rest? And we read Ezekiel 1. Ezekiel 1. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the earth of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Uzai, in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Chebar. And the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. And every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass, and they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides, and they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side. And they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whither the Spirit was to go, they went. And they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. And as for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, and the likeness of the firmament of the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had 2, which covered on this side, and every one had 2, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within him, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. When Ezekiel was by the river of Chebar, the heavens were opened, and he saw visions of God. Ezekiel 1:1. When Ezekiel describes the 4 living creatures in Ezekiel 1, he describes them in relation to the firmament. Remember that God called the firmament heaven in Genesis 1:8. He saw that under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other, Ezekiel 1:23, and that there was a firmament that was over their heads when they stood and let down their wings, Ezekiel 1:25. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne. And upon the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it, Ezekiel 1:26. So when the heavens were opened, I believe that from Ezekiel's perspective on the earth, that is in the third heaven, he was able to see the third heaven, the dwelling place of God, which he describes in relation to the creatures. It is above their heads. So the earth was just water, and there was darkness and night, and there was darkness and light. Oh no, so the earth was just darkness. Oh no, sorry, the earth was just water, and there was darkness and night. So the heaven in Genesis 1:1 is the second heaven, and the firmament, which God called heaven in Genesis 1:8, is the first heaven. This is why the translation of the plural heavens cannot be true. At that point in time, the dwelling place of God, the second heaven, the dwelling place of God, would be the third heaven, already existed. And the first heaven, the dwelling place of man, and the firmament would yet to be created by God in Genesis 1:8. On the first day of creation, God created light. The darkness was already there. The darkness was upon the face. The darkness was upon the face of the deep, which I believe are the waters, because the waters existed before God created light. The darkness upon the deep, the waters, was the second heaven, which we call outer space. On the first day of creation, God created light. The darkness was already there. So God separated the light and darkness and called the light day and the darkness night. Genesis 1:1-8 is the creation of the first heaven, which I call the dwelling place of man. We know that God is in the third heaven and that he sits upon the circle of the earth. Isaiah 40:22. Read Isaiah 40:22. Isaiah 40:22. Isaiah 40:22 reads, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in." And that, from God's perspective, we, the inhabitants of the earth, are as grasshoppers. We know that for the prophets Ezekiel and Isaiah, the heavens were opened. We know that God has control over opening and closing of the heavens, because not only did he create them, but he stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, Isaiah 40:22, which cover our view of the third heaven. Spiritually, we are in darkness before being born again. When we're born again, we're brought out of the darkness and into the light. Before God created light, there was only darkness. But as he created light, which he called day, we weren't left in darkness. Jesus Christ is the light of man. If you will believe in your heart on him that was killed on the cross, buried, and raised by God again, you too can come out of the darkness and into the light. But unlike the darkness, which he called night, that still exists in the first heaven where we dwell, if you've been born again, you will be able to enter into the third heaven. And the heavens that God stretcheth out as a curtain will no longer cover your view of God and of Jesus Christ. All that's in heaven as made known by the prophets who saw it. Then we will see the true creator of light and of the heavens and of all things. That's the end.